For years, wrestling fans watched bodies that didn't look human. Shredded muscles, impossible size, veins like ropes, strength that didn't make sense. The WWF sold it as larger than life. But to federal investigators, it looked like something else entirely. The illusion collapsed in 1991 when a Pennsylvania doctor named George Zahorian was arrested and convicted for illegally distributing anabolic steroids. He wasn't just any doctor. He had worked ringside at WWF events for years. During his trial, something explosive came out. Zahorian had been supplying steroids to WWF wrestlers. Suddenly, the question became bigger. Was he doing it alone, or was the WWF itself involved? Those questions didn't stay quiet for long. By 1992, federal investigators began zeroing in on the company. They subpoenaed documents, interviewed talent, studied shipping receipts, and connected patterns between Zahorian's prescriptions and WWF performers. The media smelled blood in the water. Talk shows, newspapers, and independent TV stations all ran segments about the steroid problem in wrestling. Images of massive wrestlers were plastered next to bold headlines. Public opinion was shifting, and in 1993, the storm finally hit. Vince McMahon, the face of the WWF, was indicted on charges of conspiracy to distribute illegal anabolic steroids, distribution of steroids, aiding and abetting distribution. If found guilty, he was facing prison time, and if the company collapsed with him, wrestling as the world knew it would be gone. Inside WWF headquarters, panic spread. Executives whispered behind closed doors. Wrestlers didn't know who would be called to testify. Every show felt like it could be the last one before everything fell apart. Physiques on TV quietly shrank. Storylines shifted away from the giant, muscle-packed look of the late 80s. The company tried to show the world that things were different now, but no one was convinced. And the government continued gathering testimony. Rumors spread of wrestlers turning on each other. Some former stars wanted revenge. Others simply didn't want to get involved. The pressure wasn't just external, it was eating the company from the inside. In July 1994, the case went to trial in Uniondale, New York. Vince McMahon walked into the courthouse with a neck brace, a shocking visual that instantly became national news. Whether it was genuine or strategic didn't matter, the image stuck. Inside the courtroom, the government laid out its story. Zahorian provided steroids, WWF talent needed steroids, and the company, according to prosecutors, had to know and had to be involved. But storytelling isn't evidence, and this trial needed evidence. The prosecution struggled immediately. They couldn't produce a single document. No memos, no letters, no receipts, nothing showing the WWF had instructed Zahorian to provide anything. Zahorian's own statements didn't help the government either. He admitted he sold steroids, but he never claimed that Vince McMahon ordered or directed him to do so. That small detail became the heart of the entire defense. WWF might have been reckless, but recklessness isn't a federal crime. The courtroom felt tense. Every witness mattered. Every inconsistency mattered. And inconsistencies were everywhere. Some wrestlers contradicted each other. Others seemed unsure of details. Some simply forgot. Bit by bit, the prosecution's story cracked. Then came the turning point. The government attempted to argue that because WWF wrestlers used steroids, the company must have been behind it. The jury didn't buy it. Steroid use did not automatically equal corporate distribution, and the law required physical proof, something the prosecution simply didn't have. WWF's defense drove the point home. No company orders, no paper trail, no direct involvement. Zahorian acted alone. Wrestlers made individual choices. One by one, the pillars of the case collapsed. After 3 weeks of testimony and years of buildup, the jury returned its verdict. Vince McMahon, not guilty. WWF, not guilty. It was over. The company survived, McMahon walked free, WWF didn't lose its empire, but the damage remained. The trial left the company bruised. Public trust weakened. Media skepticism hardened. The connection between wrestling and steroids was now permanently etched in the public mind. WWF tried to implement drug testing policies after the trial. Some wrestlers left because they didn't want to shrink. Others quietly adapted. But the truth is simple. The culture didn't truly change. Not yet. The storm had passed, but the clouds had never really gone away. And more than a decade later, those same clouds would return darker than ever. Because while WWF escaped the courtroom in 1994, nothing prepared them for what would happen in 2007. Okay guys, this is the first chapter I've ever told like this. If you want the next one, where everything finally collapses in 2007, let me know below.